If we were to rely on common sense to understand behavior, common sense views are often contradictory. Psychologists, as well as scientists in other disciplines, meet the challenge of posing appropriate questions and properly answering them by relying on the scientific method. The scientific approach is used by psychologists to systematically acquire knowledge and understanding about behavior and other phenomena of interest. It consists of four main steps. 1. Identifying questions of interest. 2. Formulating an explanation. 3. Carrying out research designed to support or refute the explanation. And 4. Communicating the findings. In using the scientific method, psychologists start by identifying questions of interest. We have all been curious at some time about our observations of everyday behavior. If you have ever asked yourself why a particular teacher or person is so easily annoyed, why a friend is always late for appointments, or how does your dog understand your commands, you have been formulating questions about behavior. Psychologists too ask questions about the nature and causes of behavior. They may wish to explore explanations for everyday behaviors or for various phenomena. They may also pose questions that build on findings from their previous research or from research carried out by another psychologist. They may produce new questions that are based on curiosity, creativity, or insight. Now, once a question has been identified, the next step in the scientific method is to develop a theory to explain the observed phenomenon. Theories are broad explanations and predictions concerning phenomena of interest. They provide a framework for understanding the relationships among a set or otherwise unorganized facts or principles. All of us have developed our own informal theories of human behavior, such as people are basically good, or people's behavior is usually motivated by self-interest. Theories are more formal and focused. They are established on the basis of a careful study of the psychological literature to identify earlier relevant research and previously formulated theories, as well as psychologists' general knowledge of the field. Theories vary both in their breadth and in their level of detail. The next step in the scientific method is to create a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a prediction stated in a way that allows it to be tested. Hypotheses stem from theories. They help test the underlying soundness of theories. In the same way that we develop our own broad theories about the world, we also construct hypotheses about events and behaviors. Those hypotheses can range from trivialities such as why our English instructor wears those weird shirts to more meaningful matters such as what is the best way to study for a test. Although we rarely test these hypotheses scientifically, we do try to determine whether they are right or wrong. Perhaps we can compare two strategies, cramming the night before an exam versus spreading out our study over several nights. By assessing which approach yields better test performance, we have created a way to compare the two strategies. A hypothesis must be stated in a way that will allow it to be tested, which involves creating an operational definition. An operational definition is the translation of a hypothesis into specific, testable procedures that can be measured and observed. There is no single way to go about devising an operational definition for a hypothesis. It depends on logic, the equipment and facilities available, the psychological perspective being employed, and ultimately the creativity of the researcher. As a check on their biases, psychologists report their research with precise operational definitions of procedures and concepts. Using these carefully worded statements, others can replicate or repeat the original observations with different participants, materials, and circumstances. If they get similar results, confidence in the findings' reliability grows. In the end, our theory will be useful if it 1. Organizes observations, and 2. Implies predictions that anyone can use to check the theory or to derive particular applications. As you will see in my next video lecture, we can test our hypothesis and refine our theories using 3 different research methods. First, descriptive methods, which describe behaviors often through case studies, surveys, or naturalistic observations. 2. Correlational methods, which associate different factors. And 3. Experimental methods, which manipulate factors to discover their effects. To think critically about popular psychology claims, we need to understand these methods and know what conclusions they allow. Now, let us recap. What is the scientific method? The scientific method is the approach psychologists use to understand behavior. It consists of 4 steps: identifying questions of interest, formulating an explanation, carrying out research that is designed to support or refute the explanation, and communicating the findings. What role do theories and hypotheses play in psychological research? Research in psychology is guided by theories, and theories are broad explanations and predictions regarding phenomena of interest, and hypotheses, which are theory-based predictions stated in a way that allows them to be tested. To test a hypothesis, researchers must formulate an operational definition, which translates the abstract concepts of the hypothesis into the actual procedures used in the study. In short, the scientific method, with its emphasis on theories and hypotheses, helps psychologists pose appropriate questions. With properly stated questions in hand, psychologists then can choose from a variety of research methods to find answers.